The reason I'm putting a transmission cooler on is going up some of these mountains, transmission overheated. It did not help that brakes were sticking. The brakes overworked the whole drivetrain. But many of my vehicles I've put transmission coolers on, it drops it a significant temperature difference. Transmission coolers can lengthen the life of your transmission. So this is the cooler. It's the fitting style. This fan mounts onto it nice and neat. There was a few coolers I was looking at on Amazon and eBay. The one I wanted was almost $280, and it was almost identical to this, except the fan housing, it was one piece. It was all molded together, and it was American made. This looks all Chinese, but this was 80 bucks. So $200 less, and the fan is separate. I'll just have to figure out a way to mount it up. It is like day 16 of quarantine. I'm connecting the transmission cooler today. If you are not on the Facebook Skoolie pages, I would recommend getting in them because there's a lot of useful information. A lot of people who don't read, a lot of people who repeat a lot of things, but there are some good members who with good information. Within that, I found out my transmission is an AT545. It's a very widely used Allison transmission model. It has its pros, it has its cons. A lot of people are not fans of them, but they are a lasting transmission. You have to keep them cool. It's not a transmission that does well in the hills, but not doing well does not mean it's not possible. Take care of the transmission, it'll last you a long time. When you're going through hills, watch your heat. These transmissions like to overheat. If you keep them cool, they'll last. So this is the transmission cooler install. I've already got it mounted in place, but I had some trouble mounting it. So we're taking the bumper off, but we're also connecting everything to it today. So I am inside of the bus. This is my access. Transmission lines are right in here. Everything's right here. So this line is marked cooler. This line is marked from cooler. So these are the lines we're going to be messing with, connecting it to an external cooler.
I wake up in a cold sweat. I wonder if it's too late to block out all the sunlight. Block out all the sunlight. I'm a little scattered, but nothing really matters, so everything is alright. Tomorrow is a new fight. Everything I'm choosing and every grip I'm losing, it's all about what you want, what you need, and what you're getting. Nothing more confusing to cover up abusing. With every kiss you said, a ruse you bet, in your black magic.
got the bumper off. The reason I took the bumper off is because we got a big old dent right here. You can see that. The bus was wrecked. It was wrecked in a couple of places. The bumper was one of them. We got, you know, that lip dented right there. Here and here. You can see this one's all bent up. This one's not supposed to look like that. This one's supposed to look like that. This was the extent of my bumper removal. They all broke. We have an assortment of nuts and bolts. I'm not worried about the nuts and bolts. All the holes are free, so they didn't break off in the holes except for these. These broke off in the holes. So I'll try to get a vice grip on that. I'm also messing with the transmission cooler right now. You can see what I got going on. This is the cooler. I took the bumper off because the bumper has to be notched out so this can fit better. It's too tight right here. But I've got these connected. I've been working on getting this loose. So, problem I'm facing today, because every day is just a variety of problems that you have to figure out because everything's custom and nothing usually goes the way you want it to. This is the bottom of the radiator. It is PVC, it's hard plastic. This has to be torqued a certain way, which bends everything right here, and if you do it too hard, you'll snap this radiator. If you snap that elbow on the radiator, it's over with. Done it before on a different vehicle. I want to explain you something before the little lights go out. Let me bring you under here. We have one line. This is the line that I replaced. This is the return line. This is going to come here into the filter, and then this line returns. This is coming from the cooler. This line goes to the cooler. So the transmission is marked which hose goes to the cooler and from the cooler. So that is a tricky thing to figure out. Follow the line and it goes into the bottom of the radiator. But let me show you this before the lights go out. I'll explain that later. This fitting was the original line. This is the housing for the transmission filter. This side I took off because I wanted to run a new line. This is the new line. This is the old line. And this is what it looked like. See this side, how nice it is. This side, not so nice. I wanted to replace the line because I ordered enough of it and I only ended up needing about 18 inches or so. So I was like, screw it, you know, I got all this extra line, let's just replace the whole line returning from the cooler. That fitting was completely deteriorated. So I'm happy that I fixed that. I'm happy that I ran a new line because that fitting looked like crap. Let me explain to you what's going on down here. This is the cooler. The line that says to cooler is here. I didn't take it off. This goes from the transmission to the cooler within the radiator. Through the radiator comes out here. This then returns to the transmission filter, from the filter back to the transmission with cooled off fluid. So this is an external cooler. So what we did, this one is now, instead of going back to the transmission, goes through the secondary cooler. Fresh air will pass through and cool it off. This is returned transmission line. So the reason I did this, the reason I kept it running through the radiator was a lot of research, a lot of forum reading is my research. Transmission has to be a certain temperature. If you cool it off too much, it's also not good for it, just like overheating. So there's a happy medium, and that's where you want it to stay. So if I just ran it through the cooler, it may cool it off too much. This little cooler, I don't believe would cool it off too much. And if you would just route it to a real big cooler, it wouldn't be good for it. So it needs to stay at a happy medium. Hopefully this will be that happy medium. This cooler will hopefully drop it 10-20 degrees when I'm pulling up a mountain or having some trouble. We got this fan to attach, and we can click a switch and get some airflow. Penetrate oil and heat work amazing if you can't get something loose. So if you found this video helpful, if you found this video entertaining, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We love it. We do a little dance every time we see your feedback. So it does not go unnoticed, guys. Till next time, appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.